Hello, this is Tamara Anderson from Building Successful Lives Speech and Language Services. I am going to be giving you a walkthrough of one of my resources that I created some time ago, but I think it would still be beneficial for many speech therapists. It is my Speech Language Therapy Technology Resource Guide, and it gives ideas for school-based and private practice SLPs that would be great to use in teletherapy or right now for therapists that are still seeing students or children in person for therapy. It provides ideas for interactive websites, iPad apps, video clips, websites for SLP, smartboard lessons, and iBook lessons, which is basically if you're using an iPad, you can save it in a library there. Please note that I have also organized this guide into frequently used therapy categories such as speech articulation, speech fluency, language, vocabulary, grammar, listening comprehension, auditory memory, pragmatic language, and phonological awareness, so that you can have a variety of ideas. As far as interactive websites, jacobslessons.com still has lots of resources that you can use. henryanchor.com, doodlearn.com, and the others that you see there, quia.com. Also, iPad apps. Although we're doing teletherapy through Zoom and other platforms right now, iPads are something that you can use if you have a document camera or an Osmo to project for students in Zoom sessions. And you can also, parents who are still having an iPad or tablet at home, you can recommend apps by all of these developers, Articulation Station, Phonics Studio, and you can read them there. And these are some of the other companies that make great apps: Smarty Ears, Eric Raj apps for speech pronunciation, Speech with Milo apps. You can see all those listed there that are just good to recommend. Video clips, youtube.com, of course, there's lots of videos, Nellie and Ned phonics videos, Schoolhouse Rock grammar videos, all those that are listed there. And there's tons of other YouTube videos and literacy read-alouds that you can use, including my YouTube channel. Language videos at LearnZillion, SchoolTube videos, myeverydayspeech.com. There are excellent pragmatic language activities on that website. As we know, websites for SLPs, asha.org just has good tips in general, our professional organization. And LearnZillion.com, Newsella, ReadWorks, and ReadWriteThink all have great language and literacy worksheets and activities that can be used. Reading A to Z has leveled books that therapists can access if you have a membership. I think there's some free things on there as well. If I scroll down, originally when I created this was to be used for Smartboard. So if you're in person and doing activities and wanted to project it for whole group activities, these were recommendations for whole group activities. Or iBook, if you were in a face-to-face session, you could just build these up in your library. In telepractice now, if you're not using the iPad right now, you can also just pull these up as a PDF and project them in a Zoom lesson. Or even if you don't have a smartboard, you could just project it in your room if you're still wanting to do hands-free. So I have lots of TPT products available, such as my categorization cards, Common Core Standards cards, historical Irish Americans, historical African Americans, tons of materials, and I have tons that I've created since then. These are just some suggestions. Rachel Lynette has wonderful vocabulary task cards for context clues, multiple meaning words, antonyms, inferences, figurative language. And I'll also just throw in, she has started to convert a lot of her PDF type task cards into Boom cards as well. So you may take a look at that. Sublime Speech, she has great activities to work on semantics as well. I'll just scroll down. There's just lots of ideas here. You can just kind of read them yourself. For speech articulation now, I have categorized this into the different areas. So there's different apps that can be used to work on speech articulation, as you can read there. Eric Raj has lots of great apps for articulation. Speech fluency, there are different things that you can use as well. Using technology, this fluency index counter by Smarty Ears, fluency measure app by Express SLP, some other recommendations there for fluency calculators. And then I've also listed a whole bunch of links here. So basically, from the other interactive websites that I recommended, these are just specific links that you can go to work on spatial concepts, colors, object function, things like that, associations, categories, inferences, figurative language. I kind of just list some specific activities there that you can work on. And here I just categorized it. Language, all the different ways that you can work on language activities, vocabulary ideas, idioms. There's lots of things here. Same thing for vocabulary. I'll just scroll and you can take a look here. Grammar, Jacob's Lessons. Grammar videos by Learn Zillion to work on parts of speech. Coordinating, subordinating conjunctions, which are great for kids who are working on oral language and written language for compound and complex sentences. Lots of apps to work on grammar. Smarty Symbols apps. Super Duper Publications have some great Fun Deck apps to work on grammar. So these are some things I would suggest that if you're working on grammar with technology, if you have a document camera and still wanted to use your iPad and share it in a Zoom session, you could still do that. Or in the same way, if you're doing face-to-face and wanted to use your iPad and project an app, you can also do the same thing. And just use a document camera or something like that to share what you're using on the iPad if you wanted to do it for whole group instruction, for speech-language therapy. Listening comprehension, these are just some suggestions of activities that you can do. I always loved the Super Duper WH Questions CD. I still have an old copy of one, but that's a great way that you can still work on WH questions. You can see the other recommendations there. Auditory memory. Lots of apps. Here Builder is still an excellent program. It's a web-based program that if you have that, you can still give the students a username and password to access that to work on auditory memory and following directions. It is a web-based subscription. Pragmatic language, lots of ideas here to work on pragmatic language. And this document is available for free in my Teachers Pay Teacher Store. So you can just kind of look at that more. I'm just giving you a little walkthrough. Biological awareness, lots of ideas to work on that. HereBuilder.com has great ideas. Activities, HereBuilder has great ideas to work on rhyming, blending, segmenting, phoneme addition, phoneme deletion, and all of that through the web-based subscription. So I just suggest you to go to my Teachers Pay Teacher site, Tamara Anderson, and look for the technology resource guide that is complimentary. And I will be doing a blog post at a later time just to give more teletherapy tips with just more updated technology recommendations. We know that the information listed in this guide is best used as a speech-language therapy instructional tool with a guidance from a licensed speech-language pathologist. We know that using an interactive website, smartboard, iBook, lesson, iPad app, or video is not a substitute for direct speech and language therapy. Instead, it may be used to supplement evidence-based therapy activities and homework practice as assigned by the SLP. It is important that children also have opportunities to interact with the SLP directly and not just via the computer by themselves or an iPad. And pretty much now with teletherapy, therapists are facilitating the session. So definitely it is still very therapeutic. And thank you for your support. You can go to Building Successful Lives to get more information about the services that I offer and all of that. Alrighty? Thank you. And I also recommend Boom Cards. Boom Cards are excellent. That is the latest thing that's come out the last couple years. And I have a Boom Card store with lots of activities on there, and so do other therapists. Thank you.